So today we have 7 A+ designer fragrances that always keep me coming back for more. It's almost like every time I smell these, it's like the first time I smelled it, where I'm like, wow, that's really good. Even though for a lot of these here, I've smelled multiple times, I've experienced them a lot of times, it still blows me away each time I smell them. There's something magical and something special about each one of these that always makes me want to come back and wear it again. So we've got 7 fragrances to go through here. I will provide links to all of them down below if you want to pick up any of them for yourself. Make it super easy for you to do so. Let's get it. First up, we have Boss Bottled Oud by Hugo Boss. Apple, cinnamon, and oud are some of the main notes. Love the note breakdown, and more importantly, love the smell. So you guys have unfortunately heard the news about Boss Bottled Intense being discontinued, that sort of thing. That sucks. That's a big bummer. That's a really good fragrance. And so what else can you get? You can get something like this, which still has some of that Boss Bottled DNA, still has better performance over the original Boss number 6 or Hugo Boss Bottled, but has a little bit of an oud accord in here. It's not overdone, it's not overpowering, it's not too strong, it's very tasteful. Essentially, it just takes that Boss Bottled DNA and spices it up and makes it a little bit more different. And the oud combination in here with everything else I described is what makes this one stand out. And that's what makes me come back to this one for more each time. Love how it smells. I love it even more in the cooler weather. The way it mixes with the cold air really kind of helps the scent out. It smooths it out a little bit. Smells great. Smells delicious in the fall and winter time. Check this one out if you haven't. Next up, we have Valentino Uomo Intense. Vanilla, iris, leather, and tonka bean are some of the main notes. So this one kind of fits into the ballpark of Dior Homme Intense, Givenchy Gentleman Intense, that sort of thing. Those are kind of the 3 most popular sweeter iris fragrances. Now the beauty of that is they're all different from each other. So if you were to own all of them, it wouldn't be redundant. But at the same time, if you own one of them, you're very likely to enjoy this one as well because you've smelled that type of thing before and you like that DNA. So if you like one, you're going to like them all and it makes it easy for them to pick up. So you know how this comes across. You've heard it a million times. This one was really getting a lot of hype back a few years ago. The iris gives off a nice kind of creaminess. You get the nice sweetness from the vanilla, some tonka bean, getting a powderiness, a little bit of leather as well, adding to a masculine touch. So this one has maybe a bit more of a masculine smell to it compared to Dior Homme Intense, which probably is going to be the most heavy on the lipsticky iris note. Now, I love Dior Homme Intense, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to a mass appeal standpoint, people who maybe aren't into the community, you would be better off with going with the Gentleman or even this Valentino. All 3 of the fragrances are great compliment getters. Of course, this one slots in there as well. It's a fantastic people pleaser. Smells great to just about everyone. And this is another fragrance that, you know, it smells great, like if you were to spray it up in the air like I just did right now, indoors. But when you apply it on your skin and you wear it outdoors in the wintertime, something about it, it just smells 10 times better. It's a cool weather monster. And there's something about this one that sets it apart from the others that I keep talking about that makes me come back to it each time. Next up, we have the one Royal Night by Dolce & Gabbana. Amber, sandalwood, and cardamom are some of the main notes. So I've talked about this one before, and what makes this one special is it smells almost the same as Dolce & Gabbana the One Eau de Parfum, except minus the tobacco. However, this has better performance. So I've said it before, but for me, because of the performance of Dolce & Gabbana the One EDT, it's basically only a date night fragrance, right? Because it doesn't have the performance to last through the entire day, so I don't use it for that. I basically retired it to an evening out scent, you know, just when I need a couple hours on a fragrance or whatever, and I just like to wear it during that time anyway. I think it's super sexy. And so if you're someone who loves that fragrance DNA, smells fantastic to you, but you're also bummed out about the lack of performance, so to speak, check this one out. Not an exact match. Again, there's no tobacco. The tobacco does really set off Dolce & Gabbana the One, but you would be surprised at how much you will still enjoy this one, even though there's no tobacco note in here. Still smells great. The sandalwood gives off a nice creaminess. You get that amber, a little bit of a spicy cardamom. It's absolutely stunning, and one of my favorite flankers in the lineup. And when you factor in the fact that the performance is really pretty good, it makes it a win-win. And one of the drawbacks with this one is it is one of their exclusive edition fragrances, and so the price will typically be higher on discounters. And not only that, but it does tend to go in and out of stock randomly, and maybe it'll stay out of stock for a while just because it's not as readily available as the EDT and the EDP. So that's one of the downsides, but if you're able to secure a bottle for yourself, I highly recommend it. One of my favorite exclusive editions and just one of my favorite flankers from the whole lineup in general. Great stuff, and there's something magical about it that I always just keep coming back to. Next up, we have John Varvatos Nick Jonas Crimson, or John Varvatos Nick Jonas Red, whichever you prefer. Coffee, rum, apple, and suede are some of the main notes. The note breakdown sold me on this one initially when it first came out. I want to say not last year, but the year before. I remember covering this one a lot over the winter time because I really enjoy it. The note breakdown, again, is one that will draw you in. And then when you smell it, it smells great. Now, it does have a bit of a playfulness, so that's something to keep in mind here. You may see the rum and everything like that and think it's going to be maybe more mature smelling, but it's not. The way the apple comes across, it opens up fruity, it opens up very sweet. It's kind of playful, but it's kind of fun. It has this kind of fun, exciting, inviting, sexy smell about it to where it's very mass pleasing as well. Get a little bit of a roasted coffee note, the suede giving off this leathery feel, a little bit of a rum accord, but it's not too over the top or strong. It's a very pleasant scent, another one that works great in the cool weather. It's a very smooth scent as well. That's one thing that John Varvatos does do really well, is pretty much across the board, their fragrances are all very good quality. Where they do have issues, a lot of times is the performance, and kind of the same thing here. It's not like a terrible performer. I wouldn't even say it's bad, but it's not great. So usually 6 hours, 6, maybe sometimes 7 if I'm lucky. It just depends. So for me, I wouldn't say that that's bad or terrible, but I do wish that it was better, but there's nothing we can do about that. I enjoy it for what it is. If I'm looking for something to wear for the first half of my day, I'll grab this one and spray it on, and I find myself really enjoying it each time. Next up, new fragrance, Sauvage Elixir by Dior. Like I said, I really had a change of heart on this one, especially when looking at it for what it is, and kind of looking at it as a standalone scent, not compared to the other Sauvage fragrances. I've really come to enjoy it. And, after I did that first impressions, after I smelled it for the first time, obviously, set it on the shelf, went about my life, and then there's always this thing in the back of my head, Sauvage Elixir, I should grab that bottle and I should smell it. And I'd walk over there to the shelf and I'd smell it and I'd be like, oh, you know what? This is actually, this is kind of good. And again, it's hard being in this position where I make a video saying that maybe it's not for me, maybe I don't like it, and then I start to change my mind. I start to smell it more, I wear it more, and then I realize that, hey, maybe I do like this. And so it's kind of the position that I'm in, and I'm not afraid to do so. If I have a change of heart on something, if I don't like something and then I do like it, or if I like something in the beginning and then start to not like it as much, I tell you guys that. Sometimes it gets me some backlash, but it is what it is. I did pay full retail for this one, and I think part of it was that sticker shock, $155. But then again, when I looked at it for what it was, when I took a step back and realized that I won't be wearing this every day, I probably won't even be wearing this, every week when it's all said and done. It's not like I'm going to be burning through this given all of the other fragrances that I can choose from. I have actually put a little bit of a dent. That's probably not even going to show up, but I really have been wearing it a lot here recently as I've been enjoying it, but it'll kind of start to fade off. I think ultimately this will end up as more of a special occasion type of scent for me. It's not going to be one that I spray on and go heavy with like Sauvage in the summertime. I like to go hard with that fragrance. I do enjoy Sauvage. This one will be more of a refined scent, maybe another evening out type of thing, something along those lines. I really like it, and again, the reason why it's in this video, there's something about it. Some little magic sparkle fairy dust stuff that just kind of got me hooked. Running down to the end, we have Polo Double Black by Ralph Lauren. Coffee, mango, cardamom, and nutmeg are some of the main notes. Quite the interesting note breakdown with the mango accord in there. You do pick up on it, kind of giving off a sweet fruitiness up top. You get the coffee and cardamom mixture. Goes together like bread and butter. It smells absolutely incredible. I'm a big coffee fan, and I'm a big coffee note and fragrances fan. Love coffee scents, and this one is done very well. Now what I like about this is it's a designer coffee scent. So let's say, for example, Killian Intoxicated. Niche fragrance, it's niche quality, but it's also a niche smell. That one may not be as heavily and widely accepted as something like this in terms of the mass appeal department and in terms of just the wearer, you know, guys going out and picking it up, or girls for that matter, maybe that aren't into the community. They smell it and they're like, oh, you know, this is a coffee fragrance, but it's not for me. It just doesn't really work with me. It's not going to work for everyone, right? That's something that's a true niche scent. It appeals to a smaller subset. With this one here, being that it is from a huge, prestigious designer brand, you kind of know going into it that it's going to be very approachable, and it definitely is. One thing I've said about this one as well, what I really like about it, is it has the smell like you would expect a Polo fragrance to have, or just a fragrance from the brand Ralph Lauren to have in general. And what I mean by that is, you go online, you look at their clothing, it's expensive. You go and you see, you know, you're looking at the shirts and you see all the models and stuff. This is kind of what you would expect those dudes to be wearing when they're dressed up in a full Polo outfit that probably costs, you know, $1,000 or something like that. You would imagine them to smell on point as well, and this is kind of what I would imagine them to smell like. It just does have kind of a high-end, refined, almost prestigious smell to it, while still also being designer level, and I think that's a balance that can sometimes be hard to strike. So I think they did a great job here of kind of playing with some notes that you maybe wouldn't normally see otherwise in a mass-pleasing designer scent, and they pulled it off really well. Fantastic coffee and cardamom scent, and there's something about it that makes me keep coming back to it, even over some of my other coffee scents. Very well done. Last up for today, the only niche fragrance in this video. I said designers in the beginning. Sorry, I forgot. This is a niche scent, so yeah, 6 designers in 1 niche. Mancera Instant Crush. Love it. Love everything about it. Smells absolutely incredible. You get saffron, vanilla, amberwood, I believe like an orange note, some other notes in here as well, some sweeter notes, some florals. Smells great. I don't even actually think I'm going to, well, I'll spray it anyway. I was hesitant because it's so strong. This room is going to smell like Instant Crush for 3 days now. Yeah, that smells great though. I'm happy with it. If the room smells like this for a week, that's fine. It really is a great scent. Gets compared to Baccarat Rouge 540, but you'll find that this is much more sweet, and overall is just a much different take on Baccarat Rouge 540, if anything. So there are similarities, but there are also some major differences as well, being that Baccarat Rouge 540 is more woody and transparent and saffron heavy. This one does have the saffron, but it's instead of being woody and transparent, it's kind of sweet and dense. So there's just more richness, more depth overall here, making it a completely different scent. So it's kind of depends on what you're after. And also this is much more affordable. Now if you want to grab one for yourself, I will link it down below to Twisted Lily. You can use my code CHAOS10 for 10% off site-wide. That code is always active. It's always kicking. It's always there to save you 10% off. If you add some more things to your cart, you could save an upwards of $25, $30, $35, $40, $50 depending on how much you spend. I mean, that's the power of a 10% off code. It adds up over time. So if you're looking to treat yourself and grab some niche fragrances, Twisted Lily is like the one-stop shop. They have just about everything you could think of. And on top of that, most other fragrances are harder to get discounted. Niche fragrances, you can't always get them discounted, but that 10% works on everything over there. Make sure you check it out. Instant Crush. It's awesome. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. That's 7 fragrances that keep me coming back for more. These are absolutely incredible in every single way. For the most part, these are all good performers. I think they all are good. Some could be better, but they're still at least good. They smell fantastic. The quality is great across the board. And for me, there's something about them that just works with me personally. It resonates with me, and it just makes me come back for more. Keeps me hooked. So I really enjoy these. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. These will be linked down below if you want to pick any of them up for yourself. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving with your family and friends and everything like that. Have a fun, safe Black Friday shopping and holiday and everything like that. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.